guys, here we are.
Woo woo.
First episode
Yay!
of our new podcast, Gins Before Friends. Why don't we get some introductions in? I am Queen AMG, and let me introduce to my Swift.
Woo woo.
Guys, if you want to introduce yourself.
I'm Mockingbird.
I'm Christine K.
Awesome. And we like to play the DBDs. So I'll give you some info on ourselves. How long we've been playing, and when we started playing in 2020, and I feel like I'm still a baby in the game at 830 hours. Mocking, what about you?
Um, I'm the veteran here, and I've been
Mhm.
playing since 2019. I'm the one that plays Killer and Survivor. I have, let's see, 28 over 2,800 hours in this game. So I
Nice.
originally played on PlayStation, so that the hours are probably more, but
More.
um, yeah, switched to PC so that I could play with friends and play with my hubby. But yeah.
Christine K.
Uh, yeah, I started playing in 2020 as well, pandemic. And then I think I've 929 hours according to Steam.
hmm hmm
I'm very much a survivor main. I I've I've tried killer, but I'm not good at it at all.
I am also a survivor main. However, we do when all the new killers come out, we do test them out. So, but
True, we
those
do
are normally
custom.
kill your friend matches or
Yeah,
Hmm.
custom matches, yeah. But I just like my survivors. And we
same.
typically play Steam. We Swift together on Steam.
Hmm.
So I guess the first thing we can talk about is the newest chapter that
Yay.
came out with the Skull Merchant.
Do we have to?
I mean, it's still a big news right now
This is true.
in the DVD community. One of the, I guess, supposedly worst chapters to date with a lot of mixed
hmm
feelings. Um, all right, guys, talk about the Skull Merchant. What do
Hey,
you think of it?
hey, how many of us have bought the skull merchant?
None.
None.
That would be a big old
We
zero.
got the survivors. Survivors A
Yeah,
plus.
Yes,
Okay,
I
yes.
survivors A
love the
plus.
survivors.
Killer,
Um,
no.
no,
Mm.
normally I'll purchase through Steam, and this is the one chapter I did not purchase. I just used shards to get the survivors because I wanted some of the perks.
Yeah, I did the
Um,
same. I wasn't interested. The first thing I thought when it released was, man, do I have to buy her too? Because I don't want her.
yeah, I don't really have an interest in playing her at all. We could talk about some of the things we've heard in the community in regards to the Skull Merchant. Does anyone have to go first on their thoughts?
I can go first. And we did
All
play a
right.
little bit with the skull merchant in PTV. Now she's been
We
reworked
did.
slightly since
Uh,
then. Not
True.
majorly, but yeah, we did play against her in PTV. And I think the telling thing is we only played PTV for like a couple hours and we were like done going
yeah,
against Skull
it's
Merchant.
over.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
I think, I mean, everyone describes her as weak because she does a little bit of everything. But I feel like the biggest issue is the whole 3 gen thing.
hmm
And
hmm
that behavior can't do math. She has 4 drones. She has 4 drones. She's an extra drone when you get down to last gen. And so it's like, how can you go against that? You know,
Yeah.
especially if they're just going to patrol the gens.
hmm
You get these long matches that end up going like can go a full hour if they wanted to. Um, but yeah, so the drones are a problem. And also aesthetically, I'm not a big fan. I know she's like another one of the human killers, if you'd have it. Like, and after they released her too, they had the sexy cosmetic. I know there's been some discussion about,
hmm
making her sexy. And I'm not against that, but I think, like, to me, I view her almost aesthetically is like the equivalent of like Trickster, with them trying to make her sexy. We have
Yeah.
Trickster, but like the difference is Trickster at least has personality, right? Like he
Yeah.
turns around and winks at you, right? In the
Yeah.
Mm,
lobby. He has lines in the game, and his Mori
I was gonna say
fits
his Mori is
his
top
It's
notch.
story. Like
very
every
flamboyant. Yeah.
yeah, like everything fits the lore that they made for him. Him being flamboyant, him throwing the card at the end of the Mori, or his picture, and like it all fits. But with Skullmark, she has no personality. Her Mori
Yeah.
is so boring. Everyone equates it to Freddy or Predator. I think this is where the whole Predator
Yeah.
theory came
Yeah.
in.
I
Came
was
in.
yeah, I was gonna talk about that too, or mention it.
Yeah, her Mori
But
is bad.
it's like a theory that she was supposed to be the feral predator from Prey. But I mean, we don't know.
Well, there was also that theory because there's two survivors and there's like a I haven't seen Prey, but there's like a brother sister, correct?
Yeah, I haven't
Like,
either.
but
Hmm.
my understanding from watching other people's commentary is that there are like two people, a brother sister they can pull from that movie. So, because we haven't had an original chapter with two survivors.
Oh, apparently they both collect skulls. They have a dual claw weapon, and Adriana's Mori is closely resembles a kill from the 2022 movie Prey.
Hmm.
So I guess that's where the theories come in
Yeah.
as to who, or as maybe she was supposed to be Predator, but they couldn't get the rights. But who knows?
Or
Yeah.
something happened and they had to
Or
change things.
yeah, or maybe they delayed it. Who knows?
Yeah. She just seemed very inspired, at least, by Predator.
Just there's nothing wrong with her being inspired by something, but I don't know, lore wise, the reason why she is killing wise, and even the survivor lore, I find it all pretty weak.
Hmm.
Like it just wasn't interesting. As well, especially it's this DBD. They have so much lore that is all
Hmm.
interwoven, and this is just like rich person decides to just hunt people, and then two people flying kites just get caught in the middle of the woods. Um, and it's not that everything has to be interconnected. It just seemed really, really strange for there not to be some type of connection with either past lore, even if the survivor and killer aren't connected somehow. Um, I think the lores. I'm a whore for the lores.
Well, and I
I
haven't
am
looked
too.
at the lore for because she's in the tome, the recent tome,
Yeah,
and I haven't looked at any of that yet. But as far as her base lore, yeah, it's pretty lacking, and it just doesn't really make sense. Like her past and the manga and her daddy issues, and um,
major daddy issues confirmed.
I
and
just feel
then
like her look could have been cooler. Like I guess she's supposed to be an engineer from what I've been kind of looking, and I just feel like she could have had more gears like integrated into her body, and she just has like that weird mask, and that's kind of it. I just think it would have been cooler if she had a
Yeah, everything's kind of
different
strapped to
look.
her. There's nothing about
Yeah,
her body that has changed. Um, and
but
people have mentioned
obviously,
that as well.
yeah, I was like, obviously, I don't know much about the lore from looking. I need to read more into it, but yeah, I just think she could have been like a cooler kind of morph into something.
well,
I
I
really
think
do,
okay.
yeah. No, I'm saying really do feel like they just wanted a sexy killer. Uh,
Yeah, I do too. I
with
think
her
they were like,
walk and stuff, the
and
cosmetics they
I was
released.
gonna say her cosmetic, like just her booty and like her legs, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, we know what they were going for.
Hips don't lie, y'all.
Yeah,
Hips don't lie.
Exactly.
it's so like her hips be walking all over that map 3 and though making 45-minute matches. And that's the
Uh,
thing, like with the matches, it's like who's gonna give up first. And we've had several matches like that where it's like, are we gonna give up? Are we gonna hide? Are we gonna try to play it out? Um, and then, God forbid you do get down to almost getting out, and then she can use her drones on the doors.
yeah, I was just gonna say I've had a few matches where they just like drone camp the exit door, and it's like, well, great, this is my life now. I'm never getting out.
Okay, one positive, one positive. At least with the drones, they cannot be at the hooks. One plus.
True. And they can move.
Um,
They'll move
Oh,
away,
true.
which is
yes.
nice.
Unlike the night, because of course we're not going to talk about night, but like night was like the
Another
first
episode.
three. That was like the
Right.
beginning phase of the three gen killer.
The three gen
But
killer.
Hmm.
but I guess they saw with night. I would guess like he'd hook and he'd put his knight at the hook, and you'd have to wait for the guard to go
Hmm.
away. Sorry, not the wait for the guard to go away, and then you could unhook. So at least positive with her. One positive is the drone cannot be at the hook, um, but it can certainly be at all the gens. And then
Hmm.
even
And the doors.
I'm afraid it's going to get worse with this tome. We'll see because there are some like tasks where you have to have the drones near gens
Hmm.
and stuff. So we'll see how this rift goes.
This one goes. I will say, like, something that is interesting. If you don't place that drone just right, sometimes you have that one gen that has a free side, and you're just chilling,
Yeah, that
gen,
happened to me.
And she's just wondering, like,
and
I
no
guess
one
no
knows.
one. Yeah,
But
she's like, no one's
Um,
gonna do this, Jen, or what's happening?
but then there's
so
also
placement's important.
so yeah, but also there's some spots, especially on indoor mats, where you can put it around corners and like you have to. It's
Yes.
hard to find. I had this was when Skull Merchant first came out. There was one we had Midwich, and she would put them in the courtyard in the corners, and like
Hmm.
you'd have to go all the way inside and get it, and it would cover the gens too. So it was just like it was really annoying. Played very well, I guess, in placement, but
Yeah.
I
I can
can't
see it.
imagine
Indoor map.
like
Like they
going up
knew where we were
against
the whole
her
time.
on what is it, the game? Like, I feel like that would be a tiny map to go against her on just because of her drones.
I think the one map I loaded in on where it was a game, I was playing with some other people. They all DC'd and it was just me and she gave me hatch.
She's like, well, fine, here you go.
you
They're like,
stayed. Good job.
no, I stayed. And she even apologized. She's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, yeah, no. The moment they heard your terrorists, they were like, nope, not on the game. We'll take the penalty.
She's become the new nurse now, right? You hear the nurse blink, people DC. Now
Everyone's
it's Skull
yeah.
Merchant.
I want to get better going up against her, but it is hard with those drones. We've had a lot of matches where bringing hexes in, um,
Oh
where
yeah.
they're able to have, the drone at
Hmm.
the totem, which makes it very hard to get. And I get like there's a certain amount of pressure that every killer does, and it's kind of like, well, am I gonna risk being exposed to get this totem or do this gen, or am I gonna let her be able to track me? But I think it's too much. I think Mockingbird, you made a point at one point to have her have less drones.
Hmm. Or maybe
Um,
she loses drones throughout the match as gens get
yeah.
done.
Oh, that's a good idea. I
I don't
didn't think
know.
of something like that.
I mean, I think she just needs a rework, especially with the
'Cause
drones.
they don't have like a battery or anything, right? Where it runs out after like so many minutes or
Mm-mm.
No,
yeah,
not
so
the
it's just
actual
like
drone. There
No.
permanent.
are banned, yes.
Because I feel like
Um,
the drones should have like a battery, like some kind of thing where it's like, okay, it's only active for like this many minutes or seconds or something.
Well, she does have to activate him. It's tricky because like
yeah,
it's because I get
I
what you're
haven't
going
played her,
at.
so this is just like survivor side for
Yeah.
me.
Well, that's kind of how night works, where he sends out the guard and there's a certain time limit.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. And I don't know if there's really a great way to fix her. You know, I mean, like, and I think it's just hard because they gave her four drones to begin with. And I'm thinking, why? Like, math. I'm like, we can math. You're going to get down to three gens and she still has four drones.
Hmm.
And I don't know if behavior just expected survivors to just be able to disable the drones and get gens done. I don't know. It's one of those instances where I don't think they thought through her power and also how boring it is to go against. Like
Hmm.
it's like
Yeah.
survivors do not want to sit on gens and do skill checks. Like
Yeah, for sure.
Well, now they're sitting on gens trying to disable drones.
disable the drone and then get
Disable
on
the
the
drone,
gen.
then sit on the gen, and
I
then be
mean,
chased off of it because she can see you.
I just think it's really hard for solo queue And we do play
Oh,
solo too.
exactly. Yes, we
Because, like,
do.
what we're talking about, like, oh, well, why doesn't just one person get the drone and then one person gets the hex totem or the gen? But when you're in solo queue, like, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't
No.
know
Oh
if you're
yeah.
going to get productive survivors or survivors that are just going to hide because they're injured and they're scared. And so it's hard to, you can't, even with the new HUD system, which is better, it doesn't
Yeah.
tell survivors, hey, get on this gen while I get the drone. And
And a
so
lot of times, like we had that one Harbor match where the Hex Totem was at our 3 gen. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, and it was just like, do I get the totem? Do I do the gen? Um, Having to kind of make that choice, and especially if they come back to it. And I feel like, and I'm not the best survivor player out there, like by any means, but I feel like with uh Skull Merchant, um, people who don't technically play well were getting a lot of kills because of um, the drones, like how easy it was to create that 3 gen, and then it was just a matter of waiting it out. Because she doesn't really do anything super special. I mean, the drones are her
mm-mm.
powers, unlike a Wesker. I love going up
Oh
against a
yes,
good Wesker.
confirmed.
So fun. Like there's
Yes,
ways you can counter, but her, it was just like there's really not. Like unless
she's
you're
just an M1.
yeah, unless you're in a really organized Swift and have people who can, run her, do the drone, take it to where, they're being chased to give people time. In solo queue, I don't know what I would do up against her in solo queue, but she's just, I don't look forward. Like when I hear her, I was like, no, this is not going to be a fun match. Like I don't look forward to this because you automatically assume it's going to be a longer game, or we're just going to be 3 genning. Um,
Yeah, because I was
yeah.
just trying to think of her perks and like comparing her to other killers, and I'm like, well, she doesn't really have anything like that special thing like the doctor. He has this power that he zaps everybody in his radius, and I'm like, she just has a drone that like watches you.
Yeah, she's undetectable in the drone, but
Hmm.
I mean, the radius is only so big. Survivors can see the radius, and I can hear her footsteps very clearly in
Mm-hmm.
that she is thumping, she is
Yeah.
shaking those hips, walking and
All right.
stomping through the map. Like I can tell when she's coming. Like y'all
She's
didn't make
making
her
that ground
quiet.
shake.
Yeah.
Might as well put bells on her.
I mean, I think if she had more personality, like I said, like Trickster, I
That
don't
could be
know.
her.
There's just
That could be her Christmas
nothing.
outfit.
There's just nothing. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and her perks, I don't even know what we want to talk about her perks. I don't even know what her perks do. You want me to be honest? Like,
I had to Google them because I was like, I don't remember what her perks do.
because no one's running them unless
No,
you
I
have
Yeah.
to for the
No.
rift. Like, leverage is in the rift right now.
leverage is in the rift, and I think that's the only one I've seen um other killers run
Yeah.
leverage, but like Game of Foot, no, or
Mm,
Thwack,
thwack.
not unless they're doing like an adept. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's so many other
I
like
don't think I've
better aura
ever
reading perks,
seen anyone run Game of
or
Foot.
yeah, it's switching out the obsession.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also like a haste effect, but there's other ways to get like the same things done and have a better build. Um, yeah, I seriously hoping that something's coming better in the future. I didn't like how, we had the knight and then we had Skull Merchant, and they're essentially, technically speaking, like the same type of killer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it just created that, 3 gen meta that we all had to deal with
Mm-hmm.
for a while until, things got nerfed, which we will be going over. Um,
Coming up.
yeah,
Oh,
coming up
apparently,
soon.
according to the wiki, her tear radius is 32 meters, which still, I don't know what that means.
I think that's standard.
Yeah,
We're
I think that's
Americans. We
standard.
don't know what that means.
What's
Um,
32 meters?
I was like, what's meters? Let me see. I'm gonna look up another killer because I'm like, what's their terror
Wesker
radius?
has a very large tear
Yeah, don't look at
radius.
Wesker.
Don't
Yeah.
look at Wesker.
Let's
But
see.
that's part of what makes
Let's
him
do
fun because you never
Hag.
know where he is.
Well, and with
Hers is
Wesker,
24 for Hag, so
Yeah.
like with
okay.
Wesker, I mean, we don't need to get on a tangent of Wesker, but with Wesker,
Yeah.
what makes him fun is like he's a 50-50. You have a 50-50 shot going
Yeah.
against him, right? He has a good ability, but you can counter it. That's what makes him fun. And when he accidentally like vaults the window instead of grabbing you, it's so
Oh,
satisfying and it's so
yeah,
When
it
you
funny.
is.
like duck down and he goes over you,
But at the same time, you can like a good Wesker can like just destroy you too. So it's
destroy a
like
team. We've had that
Oh
happen.
wow,
5 Gen Wesker dead.
you
Yeah,
guys
killed
were
us
right.
all.
His terror radius is 40.
yeah, he's the
Yeah.
largest.
Because it is usually when I go against him, I'm like, where is he? And he's not
Yeah.
even near me.
I will see. Yeah, those are kind of my rants about Skull Merchant. I hope they would do some type of rework. I think there's still a chance to essentially like save it.
And
Um,
Yeah, I think they can change her enough. Just whether they're willing to, I don't know.
well, and lore wise, we'll have to see what's in the Rift too, because I have not looked at the
yeah,
Rift
I'd
at
be
all.
interested
Maybe
to
it's
look on
better,
that.
but then that brings up the question: should the Rift be used to change the lore? That's like a whole other discussion. But like, why couldn't her base lore be really good?
Yeah,
And
and I
the
guess
Rift should
yeah.
expand on that, where
Another thing they have kind of going for them, since none of the lore is essentially linear, everything is canon. Like all our matches are canon. That's why we can have like, we were playing earlier this night and we were, twinning as aces. That's how you could have 2 aces in the match because it's all like multiverse.
mhm.
So they could essentially change stuff and state like, hey, well in this verse she's like this. Um so there could be ways for them to do it creatively, but I feel like it was half-assed for her coming out,
I do too.
and she could have
Rush,
been
yeah.
pretty. Yeah, I feel like it was very rushed, like especially one of the
Mhm.
first things we look at. I mean, they do have a drone there, so I'm wondering if they're under the assumption that maybe she's undetectable for the moment. But I'm sorry, if someone just kicked me down from behind, I'm gonna look behind me.
I just
Yeah,
why
but
did
like
they even
what?
start on the ground? I don't get I don't get anything with the more.
Yeah, it
No, it
matches
just doesn't make
none
sense.
of her lore that I've like skimmed over. I'm like, her lore is just meh. It's
Well,
just
I mean,
there.
she seems like a pretty aggressive person.
And
And
she's
then
supposed to
the
be a
Mori
serial
is,
killer.
yeah,
I
the
mean,
Mori is very soft. She hunts people. Like the Mori is very soft for
yeah,
someone with her background. And not that it has to be like super brutal, but why does it have to be boring?
yeah.
People are
Like
like, it's so intimate. I'm like, no,
no,
like,
but she's not
No,
intimate
the
no,
though.
nurses,
she's not. Her
the
character's not. It
nurse is
makes no
intimate.
sense.
Yeah,
That's an intimate
Oh my
Maury.
God, the
yes, and
The
it's
nurse.
caress,
supposed to.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, but like
supposed
the
to be.
caress
It
on the
freaks me
cheek,
out.
yeah.
That fits her character.
It
And
fits her.
yeah,
Yeah, this
example, it
doesn't.
fits her character. It's for her to caress the face and
Oh, yeah. Anyone have any final thoughts on Skull Merchant before I move forward?
No, just hopefully that they'll do something. I don't know
I
whether
hope
they
so.
nerf her or I don't
re-
know, update her
rework.
lore, rework. I
The
guess is the right
rework.
Yeah, I
word.
don't know if we'll get anything else lore wise besides the rift, but yeah, she does need like a rework with the drone.
Yeah,
I feel like her
I
power needs a whole rework.
I completely agree though. Who I can't remember who said it earlier, but yeah, I think she was rushed for sure.
Well, and
That's what it feels like.
I'll say one other thing, and like I know the community was like really disappointed, and I think a lot of it has to be how they marketed her, and they didn't market her
Mhm.
very well. They had all these teasers to make us think. A lot of people thought she was a cyborg, but like I even remember
Yeah.
they had a teaser image with the box. Remember, like the crate,
Yeah.
Oh
and so
yeah,
everyone's like, maybe we have to get something from the crate, or maybe she gets before we knew there were drones, but she has to get some from the crate, the killer, and there's all
Hmm.
these theories, and then it's like we get this, and the crates are just from the new map, or not new map,
yeah.
but the reworked map for
A
Shelter Worst.
reworked map.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like, which totally looks like a predator base, but anyway,
I know, which is
Predator,
it
you
goes back
say?
to the same thing.
I'm
Like yeah,
assuming minus
in
the
the
millionaire
forest.
upstairs
Yeah,
bar
yeah.
bed area.
But yeah.
Hey,
But
that's where he goes to unwind at the end of the day, okay? Predator has needs. It's stressful hunting people in the woods.
I'll
but
tell you what,
anyway,
most killers don't even go up there. I've hidden up there so many times.
you're like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna get some wine out of here out of the
I was
cooler.
go have a
I don't think
drink.
I don't think people realize that's up there.
If we get that map sometime soon, let's go do that. Let's have a party upstairs.
They don't. They'll do, but again, it takes time to go upstairs on any map. But I've set up there so many times, and sometimes you duck just down behind the bar, and they'll just go right past, like they're not looking. And that's the other thing, if you have those skull merchants that are constantly looking at the monitor, you can do crazy stuff to outwit them, um, and be right in front of them. But I just, yeah, I wasn't too excited with her. I'm really hoping that whatever's coming next is going to be a lot more exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Let's see. Let's talk about the other super controversial thing, the mid-chapter patch. With
Uh-oh.
all those nerfs and buffs that no one asked for.
Well, they did. Let's say they did revert some of it from
They
PTB,
did reverse some of it from PTB,
so
yes.
we're not going to
Yes.
be trashing it probably as bad as when it was just
As bad
PTB.
as my little
Oh
survivor
yeah.
heart wants to, because they took my circle of healing.
Yes, confirmed. I
I
mean, we're
know. They were
make
like, "Hey, remember that boon you guys liked? Well, we're gonna mess it up."
yes. Well, not
All
just
right.
that.
Yeah.
We had the medkit nerf with that, so
Oh
Yes.
my god. I know.
Who
It
wants who
just
wants to start first with the well, one, they had good things like the accessibility with the heartbeat. I've been seeing a lot of
yeah.
people just use that generally. I haven't tried it myself, but it's not something I necessarily need. Um, but I do think that's good. They had some map reworks that overall I put in like a good category. Like I'm kind of neutral to maps most of the time, but I thought they did try to attempt to make them more balanced.
The only
Um,
thing on the one map, I can't remember which one it was, but the bushes are like solid and you can't run through the bushes. And I've gotten stuck on them and it's a little annoying. I don't know if that was like
yeah.
an
I
accident or if it's something they
no,
did
I've
on
heard that
purpose.
complaint.
But
Yes.
yeah,
How
I've been
much
like, oh, I'll
stuff there
just,
should be.
yeah, I was like, oh, I'm going to run through this. And then I got stuck on it. I was like, well,
I think
okay.
that's from both sides as well,
Mm-hmm.
especially like the reworked, is it Temple of Purgation? Is
Yes.
that the one
Yeah, the red
that
forest
I
there's like,
think,
maps.
yeah,
yeah.
forest maps. Yeah. There's a lot of foliage. Why do we need so
Mm,
much foliage?
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's the problem. It's like, there's a lot. We could
I
have landscaped, guys.
yeah, because I think the thing is with looping, efficiently looping, right? You want to hug everything really
Mhm.
tight, and with all this stuff and like it's not smooth, obviously,
No, it's
So it's
not.
kind of like while aesthetically the maps look better, trying to loop, and this is killer and survivor, like
Yes, both.
killers get stuck on stuff too, and it's like
Hmm.
why is it like this? Why can't like you can have it look that way, but have the edges just be flat, I guess, if that makes sense. Like so it's
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean
Um,
visually everything looks better. I mean they
mhm,
did mainly what they did with um Blood Lodge, they moved the lodge up closer to the middle. It's
mhm.
not in the middle. And
Yeah.
Gas
Yeah.
Haven, they kind of moved the gas station up a bit, but then they reworked
Yeah.
the car wall. The car wall was the big change, I think.
Yeah, that was the big
Yeah.
one.
And then I
But
guess they had updated on that one. They removed one window that was like super powerful, according
mm,
to something I
Yeah,
read.
at the
oh,
gas station,
and the
yeah.
doors
Yeah, at the
open in the
gas
back.
station.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the doors is always open now in the gas station.
And then I believe they added more pallets to that map. I think that's what I
And they
saw.
added some in some outside areas. We noticed when
Yeah,
we
because
was
they said
playing,
there
Yeah,
were
like
a
out
lot
on
of
the
on
edge.
the edge,
yeah,
yeah.
they said that there were a lot of dead zones, so that they added
Yeah.
some
That
pallets in there
was
so that
yeah. A
it
thing
wasn't as
about that
bad.
map is a lot of times we'd start the gens in the dead zone and try to work in, but then that could create like a three gen. So
Mm-hmm.
and those the pallets on the outside aren't necessarily like super strong loops, but I appreciate them.
Mm-hmm. Well, depending who you're going against, it can buy
Yeah,
you some
Yeah.
it
time.
can buy you some time, and we've had experience with that. buying enough time to get a gen done or to stun and get to a better area overall. So I do appreciate that rework. Um, some other things, what we have, the light killer interactions that changed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Flashlight.
use a flashlight.
Neither do I.
I'm
So
trying.
I know Mockingbird's typically the one that uses a flashlight.
I just feel like the flashlight when I don't know, maybe it's because of the gen kit meta that like I feel like flashlight was not like the greatest item to bring in versus like a
Yeah.
Turbox or a med kit. But I guess with the flashlight changes though, the things was you can't burn wraith,
Hmm.
which I definitely did that. I mean
Oh
that's not
yeah.
hard. Um,
Yeah.
and then I don't think you can
Nurse,
blind nurse anymore. And then the hag. I think the
We
hag is
can't.
probably the
Yeah,
biggest
the biggest one.
change.
the nurse you couldn't. She can't be light burned out of her blinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the hag you can't remove her traps anymore using a flashlight. But they added an interaction where you can just wipe them away
Yeah.
instead of, I guess, using flashlight.
Yeah, and that's actually a survivor buff though, is that they can wipe it away because now you
Yeah,
can.
which is good because not everybody brings flashlight, so
And then you're having
there's a way to
like
counter it.
then you have to crouch.
Yeah, everybody's like walking around crouching by the hook, especially if they
Which
put like 20 like things around you, and everybody's just like, I don't know, just run.
which still takes time for Survivor. But sometimes I'm gonna miss the 25 traps being down and just activating them.
Same. I know, just running through and just yeah, triggering every single one just gives me satisfaction sometimes.
Well, and I
Uh,
played Hag the other day, and I don't think the survivors got the memo that you
the
could wipe
memo
them
that
away
I
because
haven't
Oh,
they
really been
were
seeing
just.
people do it. Yeah,
Well,
I think
no one
so
plays Hag that
ingrained.
much too. Is the other
yeah.
issue.
A
So
good
I was,
hag. Oh, I love a good hag.
but yeah, they just were setting them off, and it's just like no.
Artists, you can't use. That's something I know that you
Oh.
did do a lot. With the flashlight, is the crows are no
Mm-hmm.
longer affected by the light.
Yeah.
Um,
Which I think we messed around with a lot in PTB, I remember, because we were like, oh, can you
mhm.
do that?
We're
But now
testing it.
obviously
Yeah, we were
they've
testing
gotten rid of it.
everything. And then spirit can no longer you can no longer burn spirit's husk.
Uh,
Um, I mean, I didn't really find any of this like super impactful. I did like the whole trap thing because majority of the time when you went up against a hag, unless you brought a flashlight in, which I like, as you were saying with the new meta, it really wasn't. You'd rather have some other type of tool at your disposal.
Yeah. It
That
was
I
one of
do
those
find it's
like,
interesting. You can wipe them away, which means I feel like hag's gonna really have to think about placing the traps. It's not just gonna be let me just put traps
yeah.
everywhere because I will let you go to second stage while I go away off the traps.
She will leave you to die.
I will leave you to die.
Well, you had those ones that would like they'd put one in front of you, to the left of you, to the right of you, and I'm like, this is a lot.
Hmm.
yeah, they spend like a full minute, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
placing trap. Like, can you leave? We can't even unhook. She's gonna go stick at the stage with you. You won't stop
Yeah.
placing and
I like
traps.
when you have the hag. Like I was watching Mockingbird. I was watching play hag the other day, and your traps were you had attention behind them in regards to where you were going to try to run the survivor, so they go over it. You could pop up,
Mm.
and that's the fun hag, the one that scares you. Get those jump scares because you're not
Yes.
sure. Um, but healing.
Oh yeah,
So
we mentioned it and then like went off on our own tangent,
well,
but
yeah,
yes.
I'm kind of going down everything in all
I
our
know.
notes.
Documented.
Healing. So the healing
Oh,
changes.
Well, do we want
we're
to
just not
tackle it separately, the med kits and circle of
we're just
healing,
not
or
ready
Yeah.
to
all
talk
Do we
about
together?
want to start?
pain.
Do you want to start with med kits?
Med kits got nerfed, so
Oh.
to use a med kit on yourself, it's
33%
percent yeah, slower speed
lower
and
speed.
efficiency. So you cannot get off as many heals with a med kit, and I mean there's a
Mhm.
whole bunch of numbers, but yeah, basically. But they did the change from PTB was they left healing times the same, still at 16
Yes.
seconds on both
'Cause it
sides
was
of healing yourself or healing someone
yeah,
else.
It was slower, right, on the PTB?
Oh
Oh, it was
yes, it
horrible. It
Yeah,
was
was
because
horrible.
terrible.
I remember
Terrible
watching
PTB.
some Twitch streams and some videos, people healing, and it took them like minutes. I'm like, oh
The
gosh.
6 minute heal
It's just
Yeah, and I
yeah.
was like, this can't be real. So I'm
because it
glad
was
that they
sloppy.
fixed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the, killer add-ons and perks, it's like, good lord.
Well, I think it was too much. I think like with the original PTB, they were trying to change too much at once and
Mm-hmm.
everyone freaked out. And they should have freaked out. It was too much. And then like you see all the crazy videos from the
Yep.
PTB and it's like
Yeah.
that's why people stacking like
Mm-hmm.
sloppy and all the mangled and like for them to like nerf healing that much but not touch the mangled and hemorrhage effects that make
hmm
it slower, like that was an issue.
I and we'll probably touch on this later. The stuff what we've talked about a lot while we've been playing is uh, devs not realizing how the perks synergize together.
Yeah,
Yes. It's like
Like not
that
one
was a big
person
one.
was like, let's nerf all these healing stuff, but not nerf uh, on the opposite side the killers. And I don't actually think they needed to nerf some, the killer healing perks. The perks are there for a reason. But if you're going to try to balance the game, you essentially, if you're going to touch one perk, the opposite perk on the other side of the line probably needs to be reevaluated too. And I think that was the big thing is I'm not realizing like, did no one think like, hey, if we do this, if they stack all these killer perks that are anti-healing,
mm,
Yeah.
it's going to make a difference. And it blows my mind that
yeah,
no one like they could have asked any of their fog whispers or anything like that, and instantly they probably would have been able to tell them like, oh, killer can do XYZ.
yeah,
And I think that's the thing that the community was like, we don't understand how you're not seeing that point of view. And whether you're survivor main or killer main, a lot of killer mains thought the same. Um, when it comes to healing, that it was just too much what they were trying to change.
yeah.
Yeah, because I was just like, I was thinking like, does nobody play their own game? Like, or is there nobody out there who's like a killer main
Who
on the dev team who was like, hey, wait a minute, we could like stack all this stuff on top of this and it could be horrible.
I feel like it's like this every PTB though. Remember the
Mhm.
PTB where
Mm-hmm.
the stacked endurance effects and it was like five
Mhm.
health
But yeah, I was gonna
states.
say
5 health
we
states,
should
yeah.
also not be surprised because this happens a lot.
It's like every PTB. It's like people, streamers. They find out like, oh yeah, you can do this broken stuff,
Yeah,
and it's
because
like,
they,
Yeah.
then who's play
yeah,
testing the game at behavior? Like, who
exactly.
is anyone play testing
Like
this before
they're
it
just
hits
not
PTB?
thinking. Yeah, they're not thinking of the cause and effect. Like you were saying, they
Mm-mm.
if this happens, then this could happen, and nobody's thinking that.
Give us
But
the
yeah,
Yeah,
synergy.
and it's one thing if it was like one perk that was like making that was broken, but it's like the whole system, like the whole healing system, like with the endurance effect, like all of that was like broken in PTB. It's like the whole game becomes broken
hmm,
if they had left it how it was in PTB, which
Mhm.
luckily they didn't. But
No.
it, but it's yeah, but yeah, medkit. It's
Like,
just,
yeah.
but I am disappointed in
yeah,
the medkit. Okay, so still with medkits, I would bring a brown med kit typically, so I would have one heal, and now you
One
can't
heal.
even get a heal off of a
Yeah.
brown. And
yeah.
so, what is the point? And now, as playing solo queue, it does make a difference having at least one heal,
Oh
especially if you
yeah.
get down to like having a killer that's tunneling people out, and you're getting less people. You're not going to have someone to heal you. But I also don't feel like I should have to run like 3 or 4 healing perks like people were doing in the PTB just to heal.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Just
Like
offset. Well,
like I want to run
there
other
goes your whole
perks.
loadout though.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like you were running a healing build earlier today and you had no exhaustion perks. I mean, that affects the
And it's
Yeah.
play.
rough because I've played with you when you've done that, and it's horrible because you get tunneled very quickly.
Yeah.
Mhm. Um, I think my thing with healing is I can understand if they're trying to push altruism. But the problem is like you really can't do that in solo queue. For Swift, you
Mm.
can. Like when we're Swifting, we can talk about our builds and who's going to do what.
Yeah, for
If
sure.
someone's going to be on Jins, if someone's going to be the healer, if someone's going to be tanking, you can communicate with your Swift. But in solo queue, you can't. And one of the big things with solo queue is most of the time, if someone is injured, they're not going to come for you or help you or hop on a Jin till they're healed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
for
you
sure.
have those
Yes.
issues where everyone's injured and everyone's just hiding. And you being the one person who's doing stuff is going to get killed really quickly. And unhooking is the same. Some people will not come unhook unless, they're fully healed. And I get it can be intimidating to,
Yeah.
you
It can be
know,
scary if you're not a
yeah,
very skilled player. Like you're like, well, that's it. Like I'm dead,
yeah, but like when you're swifting, there's more reason behind it. That's your friend on the hook and you're communicating and they can tell you, hey, killer's not here, or this is the direction
Yeah.
they went. Um, there's a little less risk when you have that communication where as, you know, in solo queue there's not.
Yes, and I guess it also connects with Circle of Healing too.
The increased healing speeds for being altruistic and healing your teammate, no one's really seeing those.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Mm-mm.
nice. I've run it a couple time with you all to have easy pickups because it seems like slugging is coming back.
For
Um,
sure. Yeah. I've
and
noticed
it's
that too.
nice. Yeah, it's nice to get people up really easily. Um, but that 33%, like I think, like just like you said, a brown med kit, we should at least be able to get off one heal, just one heal if we need it. Um, especially since some other perks,
Mm.
or perk has been nerfed.
Yep.
Um,
That was in the back of my head when you were talking the whole time. I was like, oh,
Rip.
R.I.P.
my boon circle of healing. Um, I can say, okay, so I know a big complaint with the killers about that is one person can often heal and you still have three people doing stuff.
Yeah.
So it creates pressure for the killer, but for the survivors, it's like a second chance to regroup, which I get. But man, that was a great perk to have in solo queue.
Oh, it was
Yes.
wonderful because if nobody came and helped you, you could help
Yes.
yourself. And maybe they could have put something in it to where like you can only heal yourself once in the match. I don't know if that's something they could have pulled off, but
Or
Well,
tokens.
maybe
or
they
yeah, like a token system like would have been even better. Like you have to be in the killer radius so long to earn tokens to heal yourself in the boon instead of just completely like killing
Getting
it.
rid
I
of
mean,
it.
you can
Yeah.
still heal other people quicker, but I just think that we could have kept maybe the part where I could heal myself.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Like, keep it where if you brought the boon, you can heal yourself.
Oh, I didn't think of that. That's a good
And then
way of
other
combating
people
that.
you
Can get the
could
buff.
get the yeah, and then
Yeah, you just get
keep
the
the
buff off of it.
aura so you know, oh, someone's in my boon.
Hmm.
Let's go heal. Like,
Because the
so yeah.
increased healing speed, yeah, that's great, but I don't know. I
It's
just
super
feel
nice
like,
with Will Make It, but
yeah, like when it came, I remember when the boons came out, it was like this huge thing on the live stream when the devs announced it, and they're like, oh my God, boons are going to like change the game. And now they've kind of reduced this one at least to like not that great.
The most
well, this
popular
is what
boon.
it's
Yeah, the most
third nerf,
popular boon. Yeah.
think, right?
I
Because they've
think
they've nerfed it
so.
before.
Oh yeah, it's been
It's
changed a
been
couple of
nerfed a couple
times.
times.
Several times maybe.
Um,
Like they've tweaked it and they've yeah. Cuz I think they
and
tweaked like the
yeah,
radius too and like
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. I
It
mean, I wouldn't mind a token system, kind of like distortion. Which, oh my god, if you come for distortion, I'm rioting.
behavior we're coming for you. Have you touched distortion?
Uh, but a token
You're like,
system,
what
because
else
like,
can we mess
yeah,
up?
like distortion, unless you're in the radius, you're not going to get those tokens back. So you do have to play somewhat bold to get your tokens
Yeah.
back. So there has to be like a
Oh,
give and take. So I could understand a token system for the boon,
well,
whether it is just two, like say, you can start out with one, two, or three, depending on the tier of the perk, and in order to get them back, or once, maybe even be like once so many heals are on it. Like I don't know if that's possible. The boon's null and void. Like instead of just killing it completely. And that's the thing. I think it was funny, with, and again, I'm thinking a lot of this from a survivor side because that's what I typically play.
Yeah,
But for
same.
killers to be mad at us healing, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah,
Like
you're
we're
given the
supposed to try
opportunity.
to regroup and heal, and that's part of creating that pressure. Um, and I get now without it being that way. One of the big things is if you do play it like in solo, you just have that person sitting there waiting for someone to come heal. And so you're down a person, and the second person goes heal them, and then you're down that person. Now you got two people on, one probably being chased, one being on gens. It, I think, is it possible to create too much pressure uh,
Sometimes, yes, I do.
with the healing? I
No,
think there
I
were
don't
other
agree.
ways to keep it in with the essence of what it was supposed to do. Um, but I feel like we're going down this super altruistic path where they think that all survivors just help each other, and that's typically not the case unless you're swiffing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with
This
that.
is its third
Yeah.
nerf. Because it was
Third.
originally 90, 95, 100, and then
Hmm.
they brought it down twice and then put it
Hmm.
back. So,
Rest in peace. Circle of Healing. You were good
RIP,
to
Circle
me.
of Hearing.
And we have run
Maybe
it. We have gotten use out of it
maybe
Yeah,
they'll bring it
in
back.
some of our matches.
I've gotten use out of it in one solo queue match. I didn't get to
Yeah.
use it, but the other survivors got to heal it themselves, so that was good.
You were
And then they
probably
got
running
me.
or yeah.
Right.
No, I was on the hook and I could see them healing where
Oh,
I'd
the
put it. I'm like,
healing.
good, heal and then come get me, please.
It's like, yes, you're supposed to heal it to come, or use it to heal and come save me, not just use it
Yeah.
and go away.
It's true. Typically in Survivor solo queue, if they had the option between going to a boon or going to unhook, they're gonna go towards the boon,
Yeah.
which
And
can completely throw off the game. And again, it's a balance thing, but
I see. I was trying to think of the one add-on that they updated, um, where you basically use it and then it consumes your med kit.
the syringe.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
the
a syringe, right?
syringes
There's
have
the
Okay,
been
yeah.
coming
septic and the
clutch.
syringe. I've been using the syringe quite a bit.
It's
I will
syringe.
not
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
lie.
been coming
Because
in
it's not
clutch.
listed on their or I don't see it on the mid-chapter update, but
No,
Well,
it's the
it
same.
wasn't. Yeah, it's the same.
oh, okay. But I guess I've never used it before. So when I did it in a batch, I was like, where'd my med kit go? And then all of a sudden I got healed and I was like, wait, what is this? But I was like, wait, now I'm like running this all the time. So I mean that is
Well, yeah,
but
it guarantees two heals because if you bring add-ons at like extra bandages or something, you can get
mhm.
your one heal, and then you can,
Especially if you can I think what
yeah,
is it, 16 seconds, 15 seconds? You have
yeah,
to
wait it out.
Yeah.
wait it out. And I mean it was pretty cool. Like I got a good heal off of it and I was like, okay,
And
maybe
it
it's
came
not
in
so
clutch
bad.
too because just as they were ready to
Yeah.
hit you, you healed, so you're able to
And
get that speed
I was
boost.
shocked. I was like, what's happening? Why am I healed? I was all
Mm.
excited.
Well, and it counters the things like the mangled effects and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 16 seconds. It's like inner strength, you know. Um, you pop it and you're healed.
And then
So that was cool.
so we have here the healing. Do we want to talk about the Jin kick nerf?
Yay!
Give us your thoughts.
I was like, this one you might know more of because
Oh, let me. I'm trying to find
yeah.
it in the patch notes. I mean, they basically nerfed um overcharge Colubrine. Um,
Oh right, okay.
the one I'm not. I mean, they also nerfed Scourge Hook Pain Resonance.
Yeah.
I don't know if they should have nerfed that one or not. It doesn't go with the Gin Kick meta, um, because it's a hook, but they did nerf it as well. You get 4 tokens, and the first time you hook each survivor on a Scourge Hook, the Gin loses progress up to 25% if you have it all the way, if you have the perk all the way maxed. But yeah, Colubrine, the regression got nerfed. It still has the yellow
Mhm.
aura and lets you know when survivors are back on it. Basically, they just made it um, the regression less. And so, and the, I mean, what's the nemesis perk? Eruption also, not in
Mhm.
this patch, but it was nerfed as well.
It was
So,
nerfed as well. Mhm.
but I think, I mean, this is good. But I mean, if killers want the 3 gen, they'll 3 gen. They can still. I don't think these
There's
perks
still
are.
other ways. Oh,
Yeah, these
yeah.
perks are not dead by any means, but yeah, the
No.
regression is less. Because I think the issue we can agree was the whole stacking. They're
Yes.
stacking all the gen kit perks together. It's not really just like
Mhm.
one perk was the issue. Like each individual perk
Yeah.
was fine, but it was like let's just stack
And
all
again,
these and get so much off of the
synergy.
gen.
And that's the thing. Like for pain res, when they're running all these stuff, a lot of times they were just camping by the hook. So they were just every time they were switching out survivors, it was just constantly like in motion. Those perks were just constantly working together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a lot of people that I've talked to about the Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, saying that they don't actually agree with that nerf. And I think out of all of them, I could understand that one remaining more the same. Um,
Yeah, because with the Scourge Hook, you want it's rewarding you for
they've been getting
chasing.
yeah, they've been getting some serious work out of Gearhead.
Oh gosh, this perk is back. Apparently, we just got
This
a gift
works is
it this
bad.
afternoon.
Yeah, we kept going against it. Um,
Love you, distortion.
I know, killing all my distortion tokens.
Which I've noticed that more when we've been playing. I'm like, where are my tokens going? And
It
it's
took
not
us
the
a while to figure it
normal.
out. We were like, oh my god, every time we hit a skill check.
Mm,
Um, and
yeah.
again, a new meta is always going to arise. So as long
Yeah.
as you're,
Well,
you know,
don't
Which
do
I
a
feel
keeping
like
skill
they
check,
survivors
put,
please.
injured.
yeah, I feel like they put a lot of work into that too. It's like, oh, we have to get rid of the meta stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but a new one will pop up. And then you're going to combat that one. And
Typically
then
works.
Okay, the meta
I,
stuff is a
yeah.
whole other conversation. So
Yeah,
I
I
have
was going
thoughts
to say
on that
that's
as
a
well.
whole,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
that's a whole other problem. But yeah.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah,
let's
like these
see.
I'm not familiar with a lot of just because I don't play a lot of killer, which I should like know more of the like perks. That way I know like, hey, this is what happens when pain resonance is there. But yeah, so
I think
it's
we
good
know
to
the
have someone.
basics.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
also good to have like, a half killer. Well, maybe not half killer, but you play killer sometimes, so you know how most stuff works.
Yeah, I do play killer. I mean, I never ran Gearhead. Maybe I should run it now. I don't.
Right?
But
It's the
I
yeah.
new
think,
Well, because it
meta.
was so Gearhead before was so situational. I'd have to go look up the original
yeah.
one, but it
Mm,
was like after you hit
yeah.
someone and it was just too hard to like activate. So it's easier to activate. You just have to injure someone and then 30 seconds, and after that, anyone that does a good skill check gets their aura revealed.
Hmm. And
So
we had a killer stack it with all aura reading perks. I'll tell you what, within
Oh,
the first like
great.
40 seconds the game, I had no distortion tokens.
lethal, nowhere to
Yeah.
hide,
Mhm.
gearhead. That's why
Mhm.
you can't touch distortion behavior. 'Cause
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
it
new
was the
meta, all
best.
aura reading perks.
I just know that someone has a little sticky note on their thing, like mess up
Mess with
distortion.
distortion.
Oh, I had a
Please
killer get
don't.
mad at me before for running distortion. I was even agreeing with him on the point of the new Red Forest map, and he's like, "You can't say anything, distortion user." I'm like, "Okay, I'm like agreeing with you, dude."
No, you run distortion, so your point does not matter.
I
Apparently,
feel, yeah, I feel with all the aura reading perks now on the killer side, let's just leave distortion the way it is. And it encourages people to play a little, risky in order to get
hmm
those tokens back
Yeah, for sure.
to have them. I think that's in a good spot, in my personal opinion. Don't come for me.
okay.
Um, how about the Dead Hard nerf?
Oh, yes,
I have
Uh,
thoughts.
because
Maki, you ran
yeah,
that.
I
because
did run it.
I used to want to know how to play it, and then I was like, nah, it's fine. I'm never gonna get the hang of it. But let's hear your opinion on this one.
Well, I was kind of late to the Dead Hard game. I ran Sprint Burst forever. I still run Sprint Burst, but I started running Dead Hard the original, well, yeah, the original one where you could like dead hard over trappers traps and dead hard for
Mhm.
Hmm.
distance.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then it became skill based, right? That's what the killers all wanted, right? We want
Yeah.
Mhm.
skill plays. And then, yeah, I ran that and I learned how to run it. I mean, you don't hit it every time. And I
Yeah.
would really love statistics from behavior on how often people hit dead hard and don't. I'm sure they have that information.
I would
Um,
love for them to just publish all of their statistics. I was like, I love statistics. I need to know more.
I know, because like I've watched like even experienced players like miss their dead hard. Like
Oh yeah.
it's risk reward, but then like people playing killer are like, oh, I have to wait out dead hard. You don't even know if they have dead hard at first, if it's like the
Yeah.
first chase. And so, but I mean, it's a mind game, and that's what we want. At least my perspective is we want more interaction with the killer. We want mind games. You want that 50-50, like when we talked about Wesker, like
Hmm.
that whole is he going to get you or not, you want that interaction and that suspense of like, can I get out of this situation, will I hit my dead hard as killer,
Yeah.
like do they have dead hard? And I mean, I've gone against dead hard. If they get it off, it's like good for them. They used it correctly, or you could try to wait it out and then they miss it and then you knock them down. But now with the nerf, it's you have to be unhooked, or you can unhook yourself, and
Mhm.
then you get it. So at most you can use it twice in the match instead of just whenever you're injured and not exhausted, which is a huge nerf to the
Yeah.
perk. And so my other thought, my big fear, because now Dead Hard's dead, right? My
Hmm.
big fear is, right, there's going to be a new exhaustion perk or perks that'll become meta, right? Probably Sprint Burst or Lithe, maybe both.
Hmm.
And then eventually killers will start complaining about, oh my gosh, they're running Sprint Burst. They're just going to run away from the gen before I even get there and make distance. And then my fear is behavior is just going to be like, well, fine, let's just do to it what we did to Dead Hard. And you have to be unhooked before you can use your exhaustion perk. And
No. Yeah.
that's my overall fear because I don't
Yeah,
feel
I can
like
see that.
they
I was like,
balance
that's not how this
anything.
works.
I, yeah, I feel like they're really
I,
good at killing perks, but not really
Mm,
balancing
good at
them.
balancing them.
yeah.
And Dead Hard took skill. That 0.5 second, I have ever hit it once.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
I
And
told
I
you to
was
hit it.
trying to hit it because I was trying to adept David, and the whole match I wasn't getting it. It was against a Pyramid Head, and last survivor at the door, I did it when I was trying to open the door, and Pyramid Head let me go. Because you've been
I know.
That's
watching me the
awesome.
whole map try to hit the Dead Hard, but I only did it because you told me when to hit it.
I know. I was like, now, now.
It does take skill. Um, and that's just so that's I just find it so funny. Were they not thinking that people were gonna practice to make sure to hit it on the 0.5 seconds? It's a second chance perk. That's the whole
Mhm.
point of it. To have that perk is to give yourself the second chance. Um,
Especially if you are being tunneled or something,
yeah.
you have that, like you said, that second chance to get away and regroup. And it's not like, oh, I'm being mean by dead harding, which a lot of killers think. And I've never understood that. Like why you're considered a toxic player if you use dead hard.
I don't know.
I mean, there's
I've
toxic things on
never,
both sides, but I
yeah,
just
but I've like never had someone explain to me like, oh, this is why you're toxic. They're just like, well, you are. I'm like, okay, that's not a,
I think it's just because so many
that's
people
not
are
a
running it.
reason.
yeah. I can understand if you're playing killer and you're playing for extended period of time that it can get boring or frustrating going against it
True, true.
constantly. Um, but that's where they really need to analyze how their perks work together.
Mhm.
Um, to kind of create it to where people want to run a variety of perks and not just stick with their own personal meta or the current community meta of the time. And that to me that's a behavior issue. Like you need to know how your perks work together. You need to encourage, so the games aren't always the same. A lot of times when the first, couple minutes of a game, you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be, back in the day, a 3 gen game. Um, when you figure out what perks they're running. And I can see that with Killer too, like going in there and all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, they all have dead hard. Like, um, but they have to make it interesting. They're gonna have to make you want to run the different builds. Um, and also, essentially, survivors are just shells. There's nothing unique about them. They can all have the same perks. Um, I think it'd be different if survivors had some type of skill. Then you would probably be seeing a variety of, perks, just like a killer, depending on the killer's power. You try to have perks that enhance that ability or enhance how you want to play the game. And I think that's something that's lacking survivor side, um, is having some type of skill to where you'd play a certain build to enhance that, depending on how you're wanting to play.
Well, and
Yeah, that would be
another
cool.
another point is this dead hard nerf comes along with the medkit nerf,
Yeah.
and it's like people, if you're playing injured, you would at least have dead hard to protect
Mhm.
you.
Hmm.
So you're not really encouraging survivors to do anything while injured if you take
Mhm.
dead hard away. We were talking about the survivors that just won't do
Do
anything.
anything.
But if they had dead hard as kind of like a protection of like, well, the killer
Mhm.
comes here, I can at least take a hit and make it to a pallet or something. And I
Mhm.
think that's what's hard is so it's like, yeah, there's no incentive to be injured.
Yeah.
So I feel like all the med kit and the dead hard nerf are just kind of a big blow together.
Yeah, a little too much at once.
Did they change it from the PTB? I thought it was worse, but I could be wrong.
In the
Yeah, they
PTB,
did.
it was where you had to unhook somebody.
Oh, okay. And now they changed it to like you can unhook yourself as well, right?
Yeah, once you are unhooked or you unhooked yourself.
Okay,
Yeah,
because
they
I remember
And
it
changed
then,
it.
was much worse, and everybody's like, "What is this?"
Well, because their point was it promoted tunneling. So if in
Oh,
PTB,
right.
you
Yeah.
got it if you unhooked someone else. So if you unhooked someone, you would have dead hard when you were injured. But then
Yeah.
that would just mean the killer could just tunnel whoever got
got off the hook.
unhooked.
Plus, if you're doing a solo queue, like sometimes you can't get to the hook. So if you never unhook anyone,
Mhm.
Hmm.
like you never get the
You
perk
never have a
activated.
chance to activate the perk, yeah.
Yeah.
And there'd be
So,
a rush on unhookings too.
oh yeah, people would be
Everyone's all of a
like,
sudden going to the hook to
"I gotta
try to get
unhook."
their dead hard up. Um,
But the only other thing is if you do, so you get unhooked and you have dead hard. If you get hit with borrowed time, you can't, I believe this is correct,
yeah.
you can't use dead hard because you're already in the mending state.
Oh, I don't
I
know.
know I heard talk on Twitter about that. I don't know if they responded to any of that stuff though.
Because that's like another instance of
Hmm.
your stuff doesn't work together.
Yeah, not realizing how things work together.
No, everything works fine.
Oh, good.
Everything's fine. DVD is the most perfect game ever.
It's not a bug, it's a new feature, remember.
Um, I guess this can all lead. Any other changes and perks you guys wanted to talk about?
Hmm. No,
I
nothing that
don't
I
think so.
run that I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe they ruined it. Those were like the only thing was really Boone
Yeah.
and I think Dead Hard.
I mean, we touched on it a lot in regards to devs being out of touch with the game. An
This is
example we have is like the hillbillies almost nerf and then not touching a killer like Blight.
Hmm.
yes.
Um,
Hillbilly
so
lives. So
yes.
uh Hillbilly's fine. Good news, everyone.
Yes, do not panic.
It was great.
He's
Like
okay.
day one of this patch, I went against like a couple hillbillies and haven't seen one since. But
Yeah, that
apparently
is true. I
his
have not
changes
gone
were
against
fine.
one in a while.
I love
But
going up against a good Billy though. It's so much fun, especially if they are trying like curve and stuff.
hmm
Hmm.
Um, it's such a fun match.
so this is an
Yeah,
example of them listening to community. Yay.
Yes.
yeah, I've always used to hate going against him, but I kind of have grown to appreciate him. And I will say I agree. I have more fun when I have a match with a Billy.
Well, should we talk
Um,
about Blight then, I guess?
yeah,
Eh,
let's
That
go
kind of
into
leads into
Blight.
Blight.
It does.
which I've noticed him being more popular lately. I don't know if that has to go with anything we talk about, but I have noticed that
I think it
he's
has to do
popped
with
up.
The Twitter
Or
thing
the
we're gonna
Yeah,
Twitter
talk
thing.
about.
Yeah.
yeah. Do you want to, Maki, you want to give us a quick rundown of the Twitter stuff?
I mean, on Twitter a few days ago, it came out that there was a player that had 1,000 win streak with Blights, and along with this mid-chapter patch, a lot of people were questioning, especially before they changed the PT from the PTB, original PTB that had the nerfs to
Mm-hmm.
hillbillies engravings, and everyone's like, well, why isn't Blight getting
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. A thousand
add-on?
win game
Yeah.
streak or 1,000 game win streak blows my
Yes.
mind.
Yeah. So the question of like, why didn't Blight get touched at all? And should you even be able to do this with a killer? Have 1,000
I don't even think I've
wins?
won like 3 games in a row.
Yeah. So that was
I
kind
don't
of the
know.
big Twitter
I'm
debate.
curious if that was, well, I guess maybe not all skill. I don't know how good the person who played him is, or if that is just because he played Blight.
Well, Blight is right below Nurse on most
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because
people's
I
tier
mean I know
list.
yeah, because I was like he is very powerful.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of his
Like,
add-ons are very
Very
powerful. But
powerful.
the thing
mhm.
with him is that he has several add-ons that are really good, depending on how you want to play him. So like there's not like just a one or two that are really busted. It's like several, like five or so, that if you put them on him, he's like unstoppable. So because you can do like double rush, so he rushes
Mm-hmm.
faster. Compound 33, I
Yeah.
believe, is the he can break pallets in the through his rush. So it's just like
It can be
he
scary.
he
Yeah.
has a lot of powerful add-ons.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, maybe he's getting a add-on pass. They
'Cause
do that.
I am horrible playing him. Like I played him in mostly PTV and I just ping pong around because I have no idea how he works. So yeah, I'm just curious as like if
Well,
I'm really good at him, like I could dominate.
well, you need to try him again because they've had to like fix
Oh,
him a
true.
lot
They
from when
have,
he first came
yeah.
out because his
Yeah.
collision was very bad when he
Mm-hmm.
initially came out.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember playing him in the PTB and I'm like, this killer's not going to be anything, and now he's like fairly popular.
and then there's Hug Tech too, which Behavior said they were gonna fix, but that was like a year or so ago. But remember we went
Mm.
against the Blight that Hug Teched a
Mm-hmm.
lot. He was really good, the one that let us go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, that was still a fun match.
It was still a fun match. It was
It
very
was still a
good.
fun match, but that player was amazing.
He
And
could have killed us all easily.
yeah, and
Like,
I would have been like, you were amazing. And their name was like Baby Blight.
oh yes,
Like,
baby
you were
Blight.
so
We're
not
like,
a baby
not a baby.
at all.
He's
They
like,
were an
joke's on you.
amazing. Yeah. Um, I think one of the big things is Blight does take skill. I admire like going up against Blight that's very skilled. You can kind of tell. But I think an 1,000 win streak is a little much. Um,
Oh yeah, that's excessive.
it's a little much, and that maybe the person's really skilled. If so, kudos to you. But to
That's
think that you
also a
didn't
lot
come
of DBD to
across,
play.
yeah, or not only that, that you didn't come across one group. Solo queue, I get it, but there had to been some Swifts in there. Um,
Mhm.
that you didn't come across one group that knocked you back.
Yeah.
And
And
I
that
think
says a
that,
lot.
yeah, yeah, and I think that goes a lot to some of the things that in the patch that they did change were perks. Like we were like, why? Who asked for this?
Yeah.
Hmm. Or the
Who asked?
add-ons.
What add-on? Who asked for
Yeah.
these add-ons?
The killer
Uh,
add-ons, yeah, were kind of
Yeah,
strange.
to be buffed. And a lot of streamers made jokes on like who was sitting there with the Excel sheet like Excel sheet like no one's using this add-on. Let's go ahead and buff it. What was it the executioner of the Scarlet Egg was like a meme for a little while.
Hmm.
Like um
Hey, they
like
could be right. They
who
probably
asked
sit, they
that for
go
that?
Yeah, they go through and they're like, okay, let's look at the least used perk and like
Yeah.
buff the crap out of it. Just
And
for
Um,
fun.
the most used ones is how Hillbilly got his. He
Yeah.
almost nerfed was like, let's just nerf these because everyone's using them.
And that
that's not how it
would
works,
not
though.
that would not surprise me, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's not how balancing a game works. And I do think that they would need to take a look at that. 1,000, that's a lot, especially since, people always try to do the survivor streaks, and what the highest right now, which we think of, is like 39 by Aaron.
I don't remember if it was 39 or not. He was in the 30s. He's
He's
been
in the
trying to do it.
30s.
He's trying to do it again this week, I think.
Yes.
So go
Um,
go check the statistics. I couldn't remember,
yeah,
but it's in the
Yeah.
30s. But like is even like 100 too big of a number win streak for killer? Like 1,000's like
Yeah, that's like an
insane.
astronomical. Yeah, I think 100 is still a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I've never gone that long playing, like just as a Swift. I mean, even solo queue, I don't think I've ever like
I would
one.
like maybe our top is maybe 5.
Yeah, like if we're having a good night, like oh my god, we made like 5 escapes, which I consider a win. Like I know,
Mm-hmm.
like in their some of their whatchamacallit, surveys, they're like, do you consider it a win if you escape? And I'm like, yes. To me, that's how I
Consider a
consider.
win if
Mm-hmm.
anyone in the Swift
Yeah, basically, if
Yeah.
survive.
anyone gets out, I'm
Or
like,
if they
yes.
die on their own terms, that is still a win.
Yes, exactly. Like if you die on your own terms, I'm like, yeah, facts. Like I feel like I've won this game.
Um, yeah, I think that's something they would need to look into. And a lot of people are calling for Blight to be reworked. And I get, just like Nurse, they tell you those are some of the harder killers to play. Um, and it'd be interesting to see competitive wise for people who are considered like top killers, what would be their win streak?
Hmm.
Um, or was this, again, it's not like we have the data. I don't know if these were filmed or someone was watching them the whole time. But what did
Yeah,
those wins look like? Were they barely wins? What was going on there? Was it just complete obliteration? Um, I just, I think both sides. I think you're getting up to the win streaks. Anything, survivor side, killer side, probably anything 100 and over is probably a little too much. Something needs to be reevaluated. Um, in regards to getting out that many times in a row. Something's off balance.
yeah. It looks like yeah, I looked up win streaks. It looks like a lot of people like they get 50 win streaks on like Wesker artists. So yeah, I would be curious to see like what skill and what's like, oh my god, this killer is really good. Like he's just
Yeah.
overpowered.
But sometimes it's just how it played. There's some really, awesome players out there. I love watching the win streak, like compilations and videos and stuff, to see their
Yeah.
technique and how they do stuff. Um, and then a lot of times you can see it's just chance, or you have the survivor groups or swifts that just crumble.
Mhm.
Um, and that
Cuz
might not
yeah.
necessarily be skill based. It could just be, you know,
Cuz hey, if you're that
luck
good
or
and
reactionary. Yeah.
yeah, if you're that good and you get out or like you win that many streaks,
More
like
power
more
to you.
power to you. Like that is
Hmm.
I'm impressed.
Confirmed. I guess the last thing we want to talk about was anniversary predictions.
Yes.
Because it's not alien, apparently.
'Cause yeah, I was gonna say because I was looking up stuff and yeah, I guess Alien Day was April 26th and they thought that was gonna be it and it was not.
Well, what's strange is whoever posted that, I think they don't have their account anymore. But like a lot of other stuff on their
Oh.
list came true.
Came true, except for
Yeah.
two things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess like the whole point for Alien was that they collaborated with Fortnite last year, I believe.
Mm.
And so people thought, oh, if they collaborated with Fortnite, maybe they'll collab with other games. And so I think that's why that was like up high. And I also think that's people probably want that. So, or the anniversary one, are they're typically um like not a original character, right? They're usually like a licensed character.
Typically, though, we did get the Dredge last year.
Oh,
Hmm.
right, yeah.
But then we got Project W after that. But yeah, usually, but the previous years before Dredge were all licensed. We had Silent
Yeah.
Hill, we had Resident
Okay, that's what
Evil,
I thought,
and
yeah.
Ghostface was also a anniversary chapter.
Because I mean, even like searching DVD leaks on like Twitter, you're gonna get so many people who've made like their own like things and just saying this is what's coming out, and it's like, well, no, okay, we know that's fake.
Yeah, I think I know Predator was the big one. Not Predator. Some people are saying Predator. We already talked about
Well,
Predator.
yeah,
We already
Top.
got her.
We already got her. It's called Merchant.
they made her a
Um,
woman.
Alien, Five Nights at Freddy.
Mm.
I know is one that people have been asking for.
I
I've
would
heard
say that one's
Chucky.
been like a big one that has been out for a while. Is everybody wants Five Nights at Freddy's?
Well, that's because there
Wait,
was, what was it? There was like a teaser for a different chapter, and I think people thought it was Five Nights, and that's what
yeah,
got
I
everyone
think there
hyped
was,
up.
wasn't it for Trickster?
Oh, I don't remember.
Maybe I
I don't
thought
remember.
because
Maybe.
I remember
Oh,
they had like the
TV.
recording.
Maybe, or it could have been Sadako though too, because she had the
Oh,
TVs,
true, true,
and
Oh
yeah.
like
yeah, the
Five Nights
TVs.
has the monitors. But there,
Some
yeah,
people
there
have
was
been
Yeah.
one
saying,
chapter that
yeah,
got people thinking Five Nights at Freddy's, and now everyone's like, want it, want it, want it. Now behavior knows everyone wants it. People will buy
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But
Grudge.
Um,
Grudge was another one I saw.
oh
I
yeah.
think
yeah.
I think it's too close to Daco.
Do y'all have a
I think so
personal
too.
prediction?
Um,
That's kind of why I put it on the list to see what y'all personally
I don't
think.
know because I mean, I've seen a lot of people say Child's Play or Chucky, but I don't know. I don't really have any like. I don't know. I feel like they could do anything. Like it's hard to predict like what they would pick up.
Do you have a prediction, Queen?
Honestly, I would love it to be an original to make up
Yeah.
for the last two. Like,
I don't.
because those to me, I like the original. A lot of the killers, the main ones out there that are essentially missing from the game, I don't know if we're ever gonna get because copyright and whatever,
Yeah.
uh, all that stuff. But I'm hoping like when they had that survey and they're asking like kind of things people wanted to see, that they're gonna take that stuff to heart. But I would just love to have some type of original killer that is not made to 3 gen. Um, that's not necessarily like a slash and leave killer. Like I want a mind game killer. Like I think that's part
Yeah,
of
that
what
would be
makes the game
cool.
fun. Like um, yeah, someone's gonna give me a run for my money. Uh, and play all the mind games. But original is something I would like. What about you, Mocking?
Well, I feel like with their licensed chapters, I feel like their licensed chapters get more love.
They
Like
Oh
do.
yeah.
Resident
the
Evil,
Resident, well, even like
obviously.
the perks, like
Oh,
even
I can
in
just remember. I remember the live stream for that. I was so excited when they revealed it was Nemesis.
but
But
like
yeah.
even like the perks on like the licenses we don't really like Sadako, like look at Callbrain, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
Oh
he's
yeah.
constantly. So I'm gonna throw
Even
a
like the Survivor one. I
mm-hmm.
never used it. Yeah. Or that's what you were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so I think it's gonna my prediction is they'll be licensed, especially after the last two chapters have been terrible. They
Yeah, that
need some
makes
they
sense.
need something to bring
People back.
everyone back. I'm gonna throw a wild card out there. While it's not really the one I would like to see, because I'd like to see something more maybe creature-esque. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna throw this
Creepy.
but I'm gonna throw this one out there. I'm gonna say Jason from Friday the
Really,
13th.
I was about to say Jason is
Ooh.
like the most asked
Because also Matthew
killer.
Cote way back years ago said like they would love to have Jason because it would fill their like horror roster,
Yeah.
and the license is now available.
Oh yeah. Because I
Oh.
think the lawsuit
The
is
lawsuits is done. And I
finished.
think they're making a TV show now too. So like the
Yeah. They
license is out there and it is available if they could make it work. And so
apparently. Well, sorry to interrupt, but yeah,
and,
according to the lawsuit, they can't use his name, but they can use his likeness.
mm-hmm.
Um, so that would be interesting. But I always forget him because I think of the the lawsuit. And so I'm like, oh, but they still have that, but I forget that that it's
Um,
been resolved. So
Jason is like the most asked for. If you go on to any major DVD player stream and you ask them most time, they'll say
yeah.
Jason.
And
That'd definitely be a community favorite.
I think it'd be a
Mhm.
surprise too, because I don't know how many people
Mm-hmm.
keep up with the lawsuit and stuff, like
True.
that it's
Yeah.
possible.
Because that was
Um,
definitely like something like a niche thing. Like if you knew about it, you knew about it. Like
hmm
when you go on like Reddit and stuff, most people are like, "Oh man, I just want Jason. I don't care."
It's like,
I
no, you
think
can have him.
Jason, who do you think we'd get for Survivor?
Tommy. I think Tommy's the
Tommy?
main one. I'm not an expert on Friday the 13th, but like he
Yeah.
was one of the main ones in the Friday the
Oh,
13th game.
Yes.
that's
Um,
Yeah.
true.
so
Oh,
I
they
would
should do
say
like a they could do a
him.
skin with his mother. That would be kind of cool.
Oh my God, that'd be freaky.
Well, like Leatherface has those too,
Oh,
the
I love
skins
it.
too.
I love it. Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
But
we'll
the
see.
I wouldn't. Well, I don't know. I feel like it would be kind of cool if maybe they like well, I would say revisit Resident Evil, but then they brought us Wesker after the fact, so maybe not much there. But they could like bring more Saw maybe into it. Like I
Maybe.
know we have Amanda, but I don't know. Maybe he could get like a new skin, but I don't think that would be like a mid chapter, an anniversary thing.
Yeah, I don't know how much hype there is with Saw or Spiral now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Twitter, I was talking to Queen earlier about it. I guess people have been dropping Jeepers Creepers, but there's controversy because the creator or the director um was embroiled in some child stuff.
Mm.
And people are like, "Well, I would never play that if he came to the game." Um, I've I don't know much about it, so I don't know either way, but
Well,
I
and
never
I
thought
think,
of Jeepers
yeah,
Creepers.
that's something that
um,
comes up a lot, though. There's
it was
certain
yeah. There are things that
killers or
always
things
come
they
back.
ask for.
Yeah. Every
Um,
anniversary, everyone brings out their list. They're like, "Oh, I want all this."
yeah, I mean, if they can get like what I would consider like the OG original killer lineup, um, and add Jason, then that would be nice. I'm also on the
Because
same boat of wanting some type of original killer that is maybe more creature based or animalistic.
or even classic
Um,
like your vampire
yeah.
werewolf. Like
they could always do Twilight. I mean, that's
Like,
horrible in itself. Like you could have Edward chasing you, and like he just
there's
flashes you
Jacob.
with his glitter.
or you have a flashlight and he blinds himself because
Yeah,
it's so
yeah,
shiny.
yeah. He light burns himself 'cause of all the glitter.
Jacob.
Yeah,
Oh
you can
my
have so many
goodness.
different skins. That'd be great.
Hey, Dracula. Dracula would be interesting. Original Dracula?
Ooh, or
Man,
like Frankenstein's monster.
oh, you leave my monster out of this.
Well, I mean, I
Not
thought
his
of like
fault.
old school monsters,
I
like
would throw every match
Oh no.
if Frankenstein's creature was there. I'd be like, oh no, I can't do that to you.
because I
I would
thought of
try to befriend him every match.
what is it? It's would it be Universal? Are they the ones that had the original like horror
Yeah, I
monsters?
believe so. Because they were
Yeah.
gonna do
Like,
that whole universe movie thing, and then
yeah, like you could have was it the creature from the Black Lagoon? Like you can have
Yeah.
all the like classic
the
horror people.
mummy. Have a
Yeah, the
mummy.
mummy. Like that would be kind of interesting. I don't know if they would ever go that route, but
Or even like fantasy wise, Greek gods slash monsters,
yeah, because I mean they've done the cosmetics for that
the
kind of stuff. They always
cosmetics,
have the Greek cosmetics that come out every year,
Medusa.
and those are cool.
Yeah.
It's always hard with the anniversary patch because I really don't know where it's gonna go ever until we either get it leaked or it
Yeah.
comes out.
I think
I'm
they have
hoping
the
it,
leaks under control though lately. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I noticed that because I go on. I think I follow like DVD leaks or something on Twitter, and they never have anything anymore.
mm-mm.
they're
Maybe they'll have
keeping
like some
things tight-lipped.
cosmetics like usually trickle out, but yeah, like this anniversary patch, we know nothing unless I'm wrong and there's something out there.
No, I'm excited though if it doesn't get leaked.
Hmm.
I want it to be a surprise again.
And it seems like June 10th is like that's the date, I guess. It seems that's what everybody's posting on Twitter. I don't know if that's when they're gonna announce it. I can't remember when their anniversary is.
Yeah, I'd have to check when they're because
Yeah,
usually they
I
do an
can look
anniversary
that up.
stream with the
Yeah,
reveal.
they do the stream, which we've watched the last couple years.
Oh, what
Um,
about Pennywise?
People have
Um,
brought up Pennywise.
Because he's been, yeah, like you said, he's been referenced a few times. I don't know
Hmm.
if that's something they would bring in because the movies were pretty popular,
and
or the two that came out.
Stephen King's still pretty popular too. He's a very
Yeah, and I,
recognizable character.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, I know they've brought in the clown. Like, I guess I don't know. That would be the other thing.
Well,
They already have the
well,
clown.
we have the two chainsaws. We have Leatherface and Hillbilly, so that's
Good
not
point.
really
Yeah.
an
So they
argument.
could do both. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
So yeah, I'm
I
trying to
have
think of like
high expectations. Like, I really
same.
feel like this chapter they need to do something big to kind of turn it around from the last chapters. And mind you, I didn't think the night chapter was super horrible. I love the lore. I
I
was
love
all about the
Victoria.
lore. I'm
I
all
love
about
Oh,
Victoria.
Victorio too. Silver
Vittorio,
Fox,
Hmm.
yes,
my
please.
silver daddy. Oh my God. Like, every time someone plays him, I just want to follow him around on the map. I'm just
The
like, I
map, I
can't
like the
leave your
map.
side. Yeah, the map
Um,
was really nice.
I'm glad we got a map. I'm still
Well,
salty
there's
for
that
never getting a map
trickster map.
or
Where's
Trickster. Like,
Yes.
trickster map?
Like his map would have been so cool. They could have either
whether it
done
was like the
Seoul
studio or
or
an
a
auditorium or a city
studio.
street scene, like, I feel like
The
so let down.
yes, the possibilities were pretty endless for him, and they
Yes.
just dropped it, I think, on that. And I don't
Concert
know
hall,
why,
like,
because they even did the loading screen, or like when
Hmm.
you're waiting in the lobby, like they did
and
all
that
that.
picture was beautiful. I was like, put me on that map. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
And
Neon light me,
please.
please.
I don't know if they ever
Um,
gave a reason, but they should have done one.
I don't know if that was in the middle of them reworking all the maps, and I
Oh,
yeah.
don't
I
know.
think it might have been.
I yeah, it was a missed opportunity. I'm not as in love with the night map. I would have liked a castle,
I still
Like
like,
think
an
the
actual
Erie
inside of the
and
just
castle.
maybe they'll bring it later because you know one of the things they haven't been doing is adding more maps to current realms.
Yeah.
So like you know,
Hmm.
Red Forest has the plague map and the Huntress map. Like
oh, right.
they've just been creating like new realms and not
Yeah,
like
like a one-off.
expanding.
Yeah.
I mean, like Freddy has like 5 different map variations of Batum. Like, can we add stuff for like another Red
I know.
Forest or like anything else basically? Like add a castle onto the
Yeah, I think
whatever the realm is the Knights from, I don't
uh,
remember. But
Yeah, that would
because
be
they did,
nice.
it has the medieval feel-ish,
mhm.
but I think it could have been better.
Yeah,
They
essentially
could
you're
have,
outside. And that's the thing I
Right.
yeah.
found weird about the doors is like you're opening the doors and you're running into the
The safety,
I know.
hopefully.
I
Yeah, let
know.
me go into my castle.
I know. Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I get the map fits the lore. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't because it does fit the lore, but like, I just was like, night, we're gonna get like a castle and like
that'd be
That was
so
a,
my first
cool.
thought
a
too.
drawbridge and like all of that. But it was just like you know, a wooden building in the middle and like lots of dead people everywhere, of course, because like they've been slaughtered. The townspeople have been slaughtered. Like, I know it
Yeah,
fits, but still, I'm just like,
dead
Yeah.
animals.
or they could have done a partial indoor and partial outdoor
Partial
too.
outdoor.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of similar to RPD, where
Mm-hmm.
you do have the outside area,
You're part of the
or
castle.
the roof area, depending on what wing of the map you get. Um, I like that kind of map. RPD, I have my love hate, but I like that there's an indoor outdoor thing going on there.
hmm
Um,
I remember when that thing first came out. Oh man, that was a rough
I
map.
I do miss the large map though.
It was so big. And then I was
It
like,
was
if
very
anyone
big
got hooked in the basement, it was like game over because I was like, I don't know where
if you
to.
could find it.
Yeah,
Um,
they made that map like what it is in the actual game, basically, as
mhm,
much
Yeah.
as they could. That's what they did with Midwich too. Like if you play Silent Hill, that the Midwich map is exactly like the classrooms
hmm
are placed where
mhm.
they are on the map. So like I guess A+ for like getting it
Make it
nailed
realistic.
down. But then yeah, it
hmm
was a terrible map because there's just all hallways and there's yeah. A lot of places
Yeah,
do.
it was easy to get lost in that
And
one.
big.
So the rework was welcome.
No, but sometimes I think they do really well, especially if they're going off actual already games or movies or something like our Stranger Things
Oh, bring
map
back that.
that I miss. That's my
Oh,
favorite gen top
you
floor.
Anniversary.
know,
Bring back
I
Stranger
was
Bring
like,
back
Things.
Stranger
Season
I
Things.
was
4.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, what if the anniversary they bring it back?
If they bring that back and put Eddie in there, I am there. I'm
Yes.
Oh my
100%.
God,
Yes.
yes. Oh, and then
That'd
they
be
give us like
so
an
good.
extra, like if they give us another map and they add Eddie, oh, I would
I mean,
take my money.
I'll take
Like
Hopper
just
too,
take
but yeah,
my
Eddie,
Yeah,
money.
season
Hopper.
4 favorite. Like,
Yeah, for sure. Like he would be a big draw. So many people love him. I think that would be crazy
hmm
because I don't think their game went anywhere. I don't know if they scrapped that idea.
I have no idea with
So stuff
conflicts.
went down, not like Netflix thought it was gonna go down.
Yeah. So
So
I feel like maybe it's back on the table.
I would hope so. I love going against a good Demi. Um,
Ugh,
they
I
they
do
can be
miss
a
that
lot of
map.
they can be a lot of fun, but I do miss that map.
Oh, locker
The
shenanigans.
the locker
Ugh,
shenanigans.
I love just going and hiding in the little rift room. Is it the rift room?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
and like just doing that gen, and then yeah, it was like that was a good
It
map.
was just interesting as well with the second floor. You had that gin up there in the room, where
Your
God
favorite
forbid a
gen?
killer, my favorite gin, but God forbid a killer found you there because you weren't getting out.
The Bubba or Ghostface, you were
Yeah,
so
I
dead.
thought that was part
Block
of
the
the
door.
fun of that
Yeah, it was
map
part of the
is,
thrill.
yeah, the pressuring that one, that
Risk
gin.
reward.
There
Oh my goodness, him on that map for jump scare Myers was not.
scratch beer,
It was horrible.
Myers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Stranger
Ah,
Things coming
now I'm
back.
reminiscing. I miss it.
Yeah.
I'll
If
have
they
to
if they
do
don't,
a tier
eh,
list. Maps.
oh
Oh, could
yeah, map
you?
to
Yeah, I just now I want to know. Like, I know we have a while to go, but I'm like, I need to know what it's gonna be.
we'll see. Hope maybe one day they will. I would love for them just to do an update where they give us the maps we've been asking for.
Mm,
Some variety within the realms
because I
for
believe this
sure.
last update, I think they put it on their Twitter. They skipped the last um bug patch
Mm-hmm.
to work
Mm.
on other bugs. So
All except Merciless Storm.
yeah. Oh my goodness, we forgot to put that on the list. Yeah, of like things to cover because that was bad.
We can't kill switch Merciless Storm. That was horrible.
I heard
I
something about how the kill switch was broken, and that's why. I don't know if the kill
Their
switch
oh.
got
kill.
kill
They had a
switched.
buggy squid. The skill switch was even bugged.
That's
Oh
what I've heard. I
no!
don't know if
What
it's
are they
true, but that's
doing?
gotta be what it was, because
Do
like
you imagine?
they
Like,
kill
oh,
switch over every other little like thing.
well,
Like
yeah, like there was something in the one map where the um totem would spawn like in the closet and you couldn't get it. They kill
Oh, and
switched
Hadden,
that
yeah,
thing.
on
Haddonfield,
on
Haddonfield,
Haddonfield.
the new
Yeah, it was fun in
Haddonfield.
that room.
and they kill switched that map so fast. And like, look at RPD. Didn't they have that kill switched for like the longest time as well because it
They,
had a ton of bugs when it first came out. And nobody
yeah.
can even play
There
the
was
new
also the
map.
whole thing with hooks in the
Oh,
library.
oh gosh, I kind of missed that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, with
So
people not being able to do it. But I'll tell you what,
I was
they
very surprised that
sorry guys,
when
the
that
kill switch is
happened.
broken. Our kill switch
Yeah.
is buggy.
That, or my other theory is if they would have killed switched it, it would have broken like so much other stuff in the game. Because
Yeah,
that's what it seems to happen. Is like they change one thing and then like it breaks something else. So I don't know if the
is it
whole
That's
game would have
usually
died
the
if they
Getty
kill
coding
switched.
we got here?
yeah, I was like, that's pretty on brand though for DVD. Like, anytime a patch comes out or like a a chapter match or a chapter patch, sorry. It like 10 minutes later, they're like, we're aware of everything that's happening and we're closely monitoring it.
Yeah,
It's like,
because
oh, well, yeah.
yeah, didn't y'all love your settings being reset this time?
No,
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
Especially
at
when
all.
I loaded into a match and was
I
like, all my
know.
buttons were
Same. All
wrong.
my buttons are wrong.
yeah, I had to play a a custom with
Oh yeah.
Mockingbird just to reset everything because I didn't
Wait.
want to go into a match and be panicking.
Yeah, I had no idea because I played soon after the patch and I
Mm,
loaded in. I'm like, everything is wrong. I was like the most useless survivor because I was
Yeah.
like going in my
that's
settings,
the
like
worst.
changing everything.
So I'm like, should I screenshot all my settings now because I don't want this
So
to
you can
happen again?
remember. But we did get some hush money blood points.
Oh, yeah.
Not
I'm
enough.
I always love my hush money. I'm like,
Wait,
yes,
just give us
please.
max 2 mil, please. That's the new cap. Oh my
At least I didn't
goodness.
reset progress and you had to like completely start over because that would have sucked.
Oh, we'll see. I'm excited. I'm hoping that I do enjoy the game despite,
That's-
some
Yeah.
grumbling and,
Yeah.
you
yeah,
know,
I love to rib
that
on
I
them, but
have
I do come back to it. Whether or not like my personal life keeps me from playing as much as I used to, I still want to play it. And
but yeah. I am
yeah.
also interested in seeing statistics with because I do feel like since this patch I am getting out less
yes.
as a
Mm, yeah.
survivor,
Oh my
even having Mockingbird run them for 5 gens.
yeah. Like it took us
Like,
No. But
how many games did we play the other night trying to get me out for the Rift? And it
the
was
whole night.
near impossible. Granted, twice I did screw that up, but
I got out
because
before you. I got
yeah,
and I
because I
wasn't even
couldn't.
trying to.
We played all those stupid add-ons so that I could
get
get
hatch.
Get
get the
hatched.
hatch, and then I missed it twice, and then I was like, oh my god.
And one
We
time I
got
took
you.
it 'cause you died.
But
I
we
think you
got it.
got out eventually, but
But it was
I
just
do
like,
feel
oh,
like
this is excessive.
We had to go
and
get the baby skull merchant.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that hadn't played
no,
Skull Merchant before. That's what she
okay.
said in the end game. She was like, "It was my first time playing," because
I guess
someone
she
else
was doing like
asked.
a adept or something too.
Yeah,
Like she only had her perks, and she's like, oh, I've
she
never played
sh-
before.
she wasn't like hardcore, trying to
Probably just
three
trying to
gen and
learn the
stuff.
mechanics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's how we got
Cause yeah,
Christine
because
out finally.
I think she was like even AFK for like some of the match, and then I guess they came back from getting snacks and was like, oh shit.
She's probably like looking at a little drone monitor, like, what am I
Right.
looking at? There's a dot over here. Do I go over there? What's over
Yeah.
here?
But I doubt they would ever let us have those statistics, but I would still like to see them.
Be transparent
Same.
behavior.
Yeah, in regards to how it is for
I
that
feel like
because
sometimes they are and sometimes they
yeah.
don't want to tell us.
I think transparency is important in any game if you're planning to have a long time audience or group of players, letting them know what's going on and being honest about expectations and what you can and can't do. And I don't think we get a lot of that all the time um, for this game. And I can understand people find it frustrating. And it's also the duality of it is them trying to find this middle ground for the survivors and the killers um,
Yeah.
as
And I'm sure
well.
it's hard. I've never created a game, so I don't know how to do that. But yeah, I don't know. They need something that can help them.
Second that. Any final thoughts before we start to wrap up?
No, because I don't want to get off on a tangent of like another
No, but
That's
I'm
for
30 minutes of
episode
like,
2.
I'm still stuck on that they just need to make it Twilight. They can have forks for a
Oh
map.
my god,
Like,
no, no.
it could be part of Red Forest. They can just attach
could
it.
you
And
imagine the
now we're
perks?
already reusing a map.
We're just putting it in the
See?
same realm. I mean, I guess it's more snowy there. It could be its own realm. I don't know.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
But like I could just imagine the perks. Like can
Turn
he
Edward
could
into an actual
fly.
if you really deep dive into Edward, his psyche and the things he does, he is a horror character.
Oh, okay, so this might be a little older, but like what about like Buffy or something? Like an old not an old TV show, but like I don't know, I just thought of
Reboot.
Buffy from
Yeah, you
We're
just
old.
called all of us old.
I
We're
did.
old.
I don't know.
Thanks.
I don't
Well,
know
that
what
goes
the
along with vampire.
Yeah, it was on vampires.
I
so
just don't know
yeah,
how it would sell.
they could have Nosferatu. He's not that scary to me, but whatever.
Well, and I think if we deep, there is a vampire in the Rift lore, isn't there?
I think there's mentions of something, and that's
It's
something like we're
it's in
gonna
like a
be deep
cutscene.
diving. Yeah, we're gonna be deep
Hmm.
diving into lore and going through all that stuff because it's just so much fun to see
Yeah.
how this
Yeah.
world's been pieced together. So that'll be something to look forward to as we continue this, having our lore deep dives and
Yay.
chronological order.
This is Queen's idea.
That's
Yes. None of this
like the
chapter
Marvel
really is
movies. I'm sorry, you watch those movies
exactly.
in chronological order and it hits different.
It does. Like when you watch them in the order that they like suggest, it's way better. So I think that would work for this too.
You get the whole story picture. I think that'd be so awesome to do. Really doing a deep dive and seeing how interconnected things are um, within the lore within the story. So something to look forward to. Just keep
Hmm.
listening.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like, we have a lot that we can talk about and cover, not just like patch releases and stuff. There's so much like the
Oh
code,
yeah,
how the devs work. I'm sure there's something out there. Because I have lots of questions and thoughts.
that's what we're here for. All right, I'll give final thoughts. Mockingbird,
I'm good. Again, I
you're
don't want
good.
to tangent.
Final
I
thoughts.
know, because I
Christy K.
mentioned I mentioned Twilight and it just went off in a tangent.
Yeah, we've already done the
No,
tangent.
I think we covered a lot of it. My final thoughts are that this patch wasn't horrible. Well, it was horrible, but hopefully the med kit thing will make me improve as a survivor. Maybe not rely on it so much because I do bring med kits pretty much every time I go in. So maybe the changes might work out the way they want it to. So who knows?
Adapt,
Hmm.
overcome and
Adapt,
adapt.
overcome,
Be better survivors and killers.
survive.
No, what? I
How
guess
about
we're
you?
all looking
Any thoughts?
forward. No, not really. Just looking forward
Okay.
to the anniversary. Looking forward to continuing this. Super fun.
Yep.
But that's it. First episode down, guys. Gins
Whoop
before
whoop.
friends.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yay.
Thank you
A
for
long time
hanging out with
coming.
us. Yes. And I hope everyone just
Yeah.
has a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever it is where you are.
Yep. I hope you had a great. Yeah, I was gonna say night, day, whatever, but yeah, you already said that. So awkward.
The awkward
we'll, fi- we'll,
close.
we'll fix that
Yeah.
in post.
Oh, don't worry. It's gonna
No, it's
happen.
staying. It's staying in.
I am the most awkward person ever, so this is gonna happen a lot.
All right. Bye then.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.